There are two known approaches to teaching reading: the code emphasis approach and the meaning emphasis approach. In looking at the code emphasis approach, the core idea is that students master the code of language, and in doing so, they can decode unfamiliar words and build a strong base for reading. The key characteristics in this is the emphasis on phonics and an emphasis on using a systematic and explicit approach, moving from the smallest units of sound, which is a morpheme, and then eventually moving into the larger units of sounds like words and eventually sentences and whole text. And in this, they use oral reading, which emphasizes reading words out loud and sounding out unfamiliar words. Whereas when you're looking at the meaning emphasis, the core idea is engaging with authentic and meaningful literature and focusing on comprehending the overall meaning of text using context. And that basically being enough for students to develop reading skills. The key characteristics of this is that there's a emphasis on comprehension. They use a top-down processing model, so students are encouraged to use context clues, prior knowledge, illustrations, to then gather meaning on unfamiliar words. And in this, they emphasize silent reading and the flow of reading, in which a lot of times students will guess or skip over words that are unfamiliar to them. So, why is the meaning emphasis approach not supported by research like the code emphasis approach is? It's really quite simple when you look at it. Reading is not a natural process. It is a science that has been proven, that has been backed by research. If you look at Scarborough's reading rope or the science of reading, both of those will tell you that there are two large chunks to reading, which is language comprehension and word recognition. And both of those large chunks have multiple components. And then with the meaning emphasis approach, there's really just a lack of explicit and systematic instruction in the foundational skills of reading, which is phonemic awareness and phonics. And in all of our readings this last week, Moats, she said that recent research indicates that morphological awareness is associated with reading and spelling growth from first grade onward, in parallel with phoneme awareness and general print knowledge. And that knowing morphemes enhances reading comprehension, word recognition, vocabulary, and spelling. So there you have it.